What's up, guys? It's James with This Week in Airsoft. I'm here on video, absolutely crazy. Uh, I'm here to talk to you about something that I have just recently discovered. It's a very cool project run by a guy who we all know, love, and hate, and otherwise, Frank, aka CrazyNCMan. Frank, it's a pleasure to have you on with us today to talk about your newest project. Um, just to give you guys a little quick rundown about Frank, if you guys don't know, I'm sure everyone does, but I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. This gentleman has some videos on YouTube with 3 million plus views, 24 million plus total views on his channel, um, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos, uh, and 91,000 subscribers. My God. Been,
Yeah,
been on YouTube since December 29th, 2006, before I knew about Airsoft. My goodness, I was still grinding in an IT
right.
sweatshop back then, and this guy's been so Frank, you're one of the, and I don't think people really credit you with this. You're one of the let's be honest, one of the godfathers of Airsoft on YouTube. You know,
Yeah, I think so. Sadly, though, when you're talking 91,000 subscribers, it kind of hurt because I should have a lot more. But yeah, I don't take the title of the Godfather of the Airsoft review because that really goes to Flanker Tanker,
sure, yeah.
uh, way back. That guy was probably the originator, and then after him came the first retail reviewer, which was Boomstick Cole, who worked for Kapowie. And then I kind of followed in suit. I was actually making fun of Flanker Tanker when I started, and then it kind of caught on. But yeah, I think I'm one of the original review channels for sure.
Yeah, you've
Yeah,
been around for a long time. You've been around for
yeah,
a really long time, and you're being humble about it, and I get that. But I can tell you, there's when I started playing airsoft or when I discovered airsoft was 2010. I was in the Netherlands working for the army, and there was two things that got me through my airsoft fix. That was Airsoft GI Tim talking about videos in a filthy white T-shirt in front of a
yeah,
white wall, okay, and then your videos,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And one of my favorite treats was the uh, the I can't remember what it was. You would go back and go through the like the crazy stuff people had sent you or said to you, and you were like, "Look at this!" Da 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 da. And I was like, it was like just one of the great treats that I found. I found them really funny and interesting, and your reviews were good and professional and concise, and that's what Airsoft needs more of as far as the
Yeah.
video stuff.
I
So,
appreciate that.
hey, no problem, man, no
I
problem.
don't I don't know how professional they were back in the day. Matter of fact, I still have my original 2 megapixel camera that I started with.
Well, I think,
They were pretty rough.
yeah, I think that I guess if you compare it to what else was out there as far as the content was good. I mean, we've all have shabby. The equipment is one thing, but the content is where it's at,
Yeah.
and your content was always really good. Frank, there's all kinds of things we could say about you and talk about you, but I want to hear about what got Frank into airsoft, what got the whole Crazy NC Man empire started, and then let's jump right into the meat and potatoes. Let's talk about Fund Airsoft.
Yeah, that's what I really want to talk about. Yeah, quick story. The name Crazy NC Man, a lot of people ask me about that. The name Crazy NC Man came, I was on YouTube and I hadn't signed up yet. And there was a video that was marked 18 plus. And so you had to have an account so you could watch it and yada, yada, yada. And I was trying to think up a username because we're all, the usernames are always difficult. And I was just sitting there thinking, man, this is crazy. I'm doing this so I can watch a video that's marked 18 plus. That's not even going to have any material in it that's inappropriate for anybody because it's YouTube. And that's when it just hit me. I was like, oh, Crazy NC Man. There's my username because I'm a little crazy for doing this. So that's where the name came from. Um, and then from there on out, I probably went a year of just having a channel that didn't go anywhere. And then, like I said, we kind of followed Flanker Tanker, and I was just making fun of him on like a couple of the videos, and then people started watching. So that's where the channel started. And then my actual start in airsoft was my kid is gun crazy. He's gun crazy, GI Joe crazy, Army crazy, and he wanted a better toy for Christmas. He's like, Dad, I don't like these cheap, guns that are orange and blue and don't actually look like a gun. So in an effort to buy him a cool Christmas present, I bought an airsoft gun. I'd never seen them. I didn't know what they were, and I bought it. I think I can't remember who I bought it. It was one of the California companies, one of the smaller ones. But they had a video on their eBay site, and that's when I was like, whoa. I started watching the videos from theirs. I was like, this is kind of interesting. And then when the gun showed up, I was like, this is not appropriate for a 6-year-old kid. Because that's when I bought that JG M4S system. And I was like, this is not appropriate for my son. So I did some more research. I found a local game. I think we went like the couple days after Christmas. It was snowing. It was cold. I went to my first game with the guys who eventually wound up working at Airsoft Carolina, and I had a blast. And I was just like, this is so much fun. And, from there on out, I just all into it, just on the gaming, just going and playing. I hadn't really thought about YouTube yet, but it was all about a Christmas present that got me started in this crazy business.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Awesome. And you've been involved in all kinds of things, and now your focus, your newest focus with Airsoft is the Fund Airsoft project, or fundairsoft.com. Let's talk about Fund Airsoft. What is it all about?
Well, Fund Airsoft, a lot of people know it came about maybe 3 or 4 years ago when the South Florida Airsoft Association was trying to raise money for their field. They had approval from the county Parks and Recreation Department to use their land, but the county said, we don't have any money, we don't have a budget, so here's what you have to do, and you have to pay for it, and you can go ahead and we'll have a county Parks and Recreation airsoft field. And the challenge for them was they had to fence the entire property in. So that was about 10 grand worth of chain link fencing, and the labor would have been free. And so that's where I started. They contacted me. They were like, please help us out. And so I released a video, and I think Schwell released a video, and a couple other people, but we just couldn't make it happen. But I knew in my heart that this was very important, especially that field, because here was a government wanting to get involved with airsoft, good, bad, whatever. They were willing to get involved to give the kids a safe place to play in that county. So that's where it started. And we worked on that for probably a year, and it's still not funded. We only got to like $3,000. But I just had in my mind that we can do this. We can come together as a community, which I've said in my video the other day that we're really not united in airsoft. We are just these little factions of groups of people here and there, and some are classified myself as a milsim, and I'm classified as just a backyard player, and it's so scattered that I thought this would be a good way to kind of bring everybody together. And being that we're really truly an underground sport or hobby still. I mean, I don't care what you say, we're still underground. So I just thought if people start pitching in, I mean, we're talking $5, $10, and then a field gets built, and then go, huh, that's cool. I donated to that field, and now they're playing, and another one's getting built, and another one's getting built. It just brings the community together and bring the sport up another level. Whether it's brings it out of the underground or keeps it there, we get more fields. Because I've started a field, and it was quite a challenge. It was a lot of money, it was a lot of time. We had a natural terrain field. We never really changed from that because of money. So that's kind of where Fund Airsoft came in, where I want the community to pitch in to build our own sport, because nobody else is going to. The banks, you go for a loan at the bank, they go, what? No, we're not going to loan money. People run around with BB guns and shoot at each other. Unless I think the advantage of the fields we have now of big corporations is they understand business already. So they know how to fund this stuff and tax loopholes and all this, but the small guy doesn't. And we had a nice field. We just didn't have any money. And I'd like to change that to where people like myself who want to start a field can get the funding they need.
Right. Very cool. Very cool. Very noble. Yeah. When South Florida Airsoft had their they were having their push, we had them on the show. We talked to them. We donated, and it's really sad they couldn't get that done. It seems like a gimme almost, and I think, at least for me, when I saw your video, a lot of it resonated with me and our experiences trying to raise money. Or, we've never done a Kickstarter or Indiegogo or anything like that, but just like, donate or, trying to connect with these people or that people or this group or that group is really hard, really challenging, just by the nature of Airsoft.
Right.
So it's really sad that that happens so much where groups can't get funded. People say, "Oh, I'm not going to that field. Why would I give money?" And we always challenge our fans, and anyone who listens to the show knows we always tell, "Hey guys, travel. Be willing to travel. Get in your car and drive somewhere." You know what I mean?
Right.
I just talked to Mark earlier today. We had a long talk. Did an interview with him earlier today about Plains Airsoft, and he invited me out. I'm gonna go out there. Jet travels, a bunch of guys travel. Don't ever say you're not gonna go to a field. Get the experience.
Right.
Check it out. Donate money. Go see it. It's no big deal. Make a whole thing of it.
Right. Right. Well, I think I said in my video that I think a lot of people don't realize is like I do a lot of volunteer work here in my community for different things at the farmers market, and I run the EBT program for them and some other things. And I don't do it for anything other than it makes me feel good that I'm helping my community. And it's the same thing with Fund Airsoft, to where we need to kind of help each other out, because you got guys like Mark that have already invested a lot into their arena. They just kind of miscalculate a little bit. Now the funds are dried up, and they still need to complete it. It's really it's not about what you get out of it, other than the satisfaction of you helped. And again, for people, if you don't donate, if you don't volunteer and donate in your local community, I really suggest you do. As far as soup kitchens, thrift stores, there's so many avenues to help, and that's one thing I've changed in my life this year, is giving more back to my community, my neighbors here in North Carolina. And then the Fund Airsoft was, like I said, I want to kind of I want this to be my legacy in Airsoft. I don't want to be the CrazyNCMan channel guy, the guy who yells and screams, the guy who cusses people out. I want to leave a good mark, and this is it. And I don't know why it's so tough to get people to pony up $5.
Right.
I really don't. I don't understand this.
Right.
Times are tough, but they're not that hard.
Right. Well, I totally agree with you. I don't go to Kickstarter very often, but occasionally I go and type in Airsoft just to see what's up there. And I went to Pine Plains Airsoft, went to the Pine Plains. Everyone is saying Pine Plains. Plains Airsoft in Plains, Pennsylvania. I went to their Kickstarter page, and I said, you know what? Let me just see what else is up here right now. And I looked, and there was a guy who made $55,000 making green army men in yoga poses. And you know what that made me say? I was like, how come we can't raise money to play Airsoft?
Exactly.
We love the sport so much. We build our entire lives around it. Our hats, our clothes, like we eventually turn into these Airsoft machines. I mean, my hat, I think it says Airsoft GI right there. I mean, this is my weathered, crappy hat. I mean, we're all about this lifestyle, and we can't. This guy can get money for making green army men with yoga poses. As ridiculous as that sounds, and Mark and Plains Airsoft can't raise $5,000 in the amount of time to get this field up and going, so people can play Airsoft safe. And the same thing I said with Mark's interview, I'm going to say it right now. Local fields Okay, whether you're in California or Pennsylvania or wherever, local fields help save airsoft. It takes people who would be playing at home or in the street or somewhere they're not supposed to be playing, and it gives them an avenue and a place to go.
Right.
Okay, so it's, I mean, yeah, there's all kinds of reasons to support the right, things, but just for that one basic reason, kids should have a place to go at 7 p.m. to play airsoft. People should have a place to go for a zombie game or this instead of their backyard.
Right.
I,
Right.
I don't care. When people get shot with airsoft guns, it pulls my heart apart every time because I feel sorry that some kid lost his life, but at the same time, I'm like, why wasn't he in somewhere where he was supposed to be? You
Right.
know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've got to support this local airsoft. We've got to take care of it. We've got to coddle it. Like you just said, we're in the infancy here. We're still underground. You tell people airsoft and they don't understand. So we've got to do everything we can to nurture it. Just going out and buying stuff from the retailer is not enough. You
Right.
know.
Yeah, and excuse me, I hate to say it too, but I keep using the example that the Airsoft Table Talk, Airsoft Crier raised his $2,400 for his YouTube channel, and I just find that ridiculous. And like I said in my video, don't get me wrong, because I watch his show, I like it, very well done, but it's ridiculous that he was able to raise $2,400 for a YouTube channel that doesn't even get 500 views a episode. And we can't help this guy who's, husband and wife that's got all their stuff wrapped up in this field in Pennsylvania. So, we want $5,000. So I find that ridiculous that number-wise, and I use Scout the Doggy as an example, with his almost 500,000 subscribers. I mean, if just a fraction of his subscribers kicked in $5, we could build a lot of fields. We can do more than that because we can fund airsoft. We can eventually expand out of just building fields. Like I have some other ideas like gun bags. I know Evike just came out with this very simple bag to put over your gun so you're not carrying a gun in public. And I'd like to see more of that. So maybe we can fund that. Everybody gets a gun bag, and the possibilities are endless. But it takes people to put their money where their mouth is, and it's $5, $5 or $10. That's all we're asking. We're not asking people to give $50. We're not asking people to give $100. We're asking for $5 from a few thousand people.
Yeah, $5. That's a trip to McDonald's.
Yeah. We
That's
can't even
nothing.
sell our t-shirts.
Yeah.
We have our little Teespring fundraising t-shirt that we're trying to sell to give the money to the field. We can't even sell 20 t-shirts.
Oh yeah, no, you're. I know that. I know that.
Simple, We're coming out with one that's going to be uber cool, so everybody will want to buy it. But it's the point of just buy a damn t-shirt. It's $20.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. This week in Airsoft, we tried selling patches. We tried giving away patches and selling t-shirts. We sold one patch, and I sold 6 t-shirts to personal friends who I begged to buy them, and a couple of guys who were nice enough to buy them on the channel. And we have like 2,000 plus people on Facebook, and 1,000 people a week listen to the show. So I completely understand. It's hard. I guess airsofters are cheap, except for their guns. I don't really know what the formula is, but we got to figure it out. And I think Fund Airsoft's a step in the right direction. We need to bring everything together, and that's what you're doing. So just to get a little technical with you here, are you all? Is the end game to make a Kickstarter X type thing out of Fund Airsoft, or is it to continue to bring, just have a place where all these groups can come together, if it's Indiegogo or Kickstarter or whatever? Okay, all right.
Yeah, we just want to be the portal because, like I said, if you look on GoFundMe.com right now, there's 2 fields trying to raise money. One's in California, one's in Minnesota. And they won't even answer our emails. So how serious are their campaigns? And that's where I wanted to weed out people like that who might have started it, don't care about it. Because, some of the campaigns, you have an all or nothing to where you got to meet your goal in order to actually get the money. But, the two GoFundMe campaigns, if you donate, your money goes to them regardless, whether they make the goal, whether they're paying attention, So that's where, because this actual idea of a field in Florida came to me and said, hey, we want to raise $15,000. Can you help us? And I was like, we've tried this before. I don't know. And that's when I started looking into it again. And that's when the creativity got flowing again. And then when I came across the two fields on GoFundMe and they wouldn't contact me, I was like, this is wrong. Okay, this is going to leave a bad taste in people's mouth. So that's when we came up with the idea to make the portal site of we'll just check people out, we'll list them, we'll talk to them, we'll help them out, and that's all we want to be. We don't want to be a nonprofit organization. We don't want your money. We just want to list people who want to, start an airsoft business, and a legit one. Because I saw one kid, I think he was on Kickstarter. I think he was 14 or 15. It's like, no, I appreciate, I can appreciate what you want to do and your ideas, but you're obviously a little too young to be asking for $10,000 to build a new type of airsoft gun.
Right. Yeah.
So that's all we are. Fund Airsoft's just going to be a portal.
Okay. So let's talk. You kind of segued for me there. Let's talk a little bit about the criteria, because I think I think you've already said it, but it's important that people know that their money isn't going to Joe Schmo who's not going to do anything with it, and they're gonna buy a VFC and call it a day. Right. So let's talk about that really quickly.
Yeah, that's we just try to check in, who they are, their age. That's why we want to kind of see a video too on their Kickstarter. So we can actually kind of verify who they are in person or on the phone. But we just want to know if they're serious, they have a solid business plan, they've checked their state and local laws, just to kind of make sure. Because like I said, I've started a field. I've run a field. We ran a field without insurance, which was a huge risk. But you'd be amazed at how many fields out there actually don't have insurance. So I've been there and I know the ins and out of it. And then we also had an indoor CQB start here in Western North Carolina, and they didn't do their homework, and they spent all this money and promotion, and then the final inspection came or something in the inspection process, and the inspectors were like, oh, wait a minute, you guys are entertainment. You're in the wrong, you classified your business wrong. So we're moving you to entertainment, which means you have to have a sprinkler system. So here they are with a built field, a grand opening, and no money to put sprinklers in. And the landlord was like, I'm not putting sprinklers in. That's your problem. And the field never opened. So it's just a lot of money down the tubes. So I know stuff like that, and I can check on what people are doing, plus talking to guys at Tax City and CQB City and all these big arenas, Steve down at SS Airsoft. I've just got a lot of knowledge of that, and that's what we're going to use to kind of screen businesses to make sure you're not wasting your $5 or $10 or whatever you want to donate.
Okay, outstanding. So the little protection there for you guys. All right, so let's talk about who's helping. We saw a video that came out that you guys posted from Spartan 117 GW. Who all is doing is trying to get the word out for you.
Well, that's kind of a sore subject for me right now, because I don't even know if you want this on your show, because we want to keep this nice, wholesome show here. Well, for one, on the website, Scott, he's the Airsoft Tactical Squad down in Florida. He's also friends with the field owner that wants to open a field. I got this all started, but Scott's been a tremendous help on marketing and contacting people. So he's one of my biggest, I got to give a shout out to him. He's been so frustrated by emailing people. He went and bought envelopes and stamps, and he's now writing letters. He's like, if you're not going to read my email, you're damn sure going to read my letter I'm going to mail to your business. And then, of course, Evan Brown at Evan Brown Designs doing the graphics. But Spartan 117, Greg Wong, everybody knows him. I've known Greg for a long time, back when he was stationed here in North Carolina. He came to a lot of games. So I finally got him to make a video. Scout the Doggy he agreed to help. Hopefully he's working on some Um, the most epic video he'll ever release. We'll wait and see. So if he's watching, I hope he does, because he's one of the biggest players in this. His channel can make the difference with his views and subscribers. Also, Kilroy up at Mako TV, and Adam he plays on the Mako team, and he does the photography, letting us use his photography. They're supposed to make promotional videos. And then anybody else, I just basically ask everybody to make a video. But unfortunately, the bigger channels are not very receptive to this. And I'm not real happy with it. So we won't name a lot of names. But some of the bigger California channels they won't even answer my emails. And in the email, I've asked them to please put your differences with me aside and just do this for Fund Airsoft, because this is not about me. This is about the funding. And so unfortunately, they're not cooperating. Airsplat is helping us out, and they're supposed to hopefully make a video on it. And then the guys at Tax City have been a great help as far as promoting us on Facebook. But we've contacted a lot of people, and we've gotten little response. So you and I kind of talked about that off air, that I'm not real pleased with that.
Right.
It's like I said, it's not about me. It's just about promoting this sport. So don't be such a airsoft prima donna that you can't make a video for me. But we noticed the donations come in a little bit when Greg posted his video. So I hope to see more follow suit pretty soon.
Right. Well, yeah, I think I think that's just goes back to what we were saying. And I've experienced this because we've been struggling at this kind of medium level of not celebrity, but of people noticing us and then not noticing us,
Yeah.
And that's because, to make that jump to the point where people see you and pay attention, other people unfortunately have got to be like, these other people got to be like, oh yeah, this person's okay. What they're doing is good, but that's one of the things, and it's all about community, you know what I mean? It's not about, I'll be honest with you, Frank, when I saw it, I immediately said, okay, this is what we need. I've thought about it for a long time, there hasn't, I always know that when someone asks for money on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, those places aren't made for us. Okay, there's, I don't want to say it's political, but airsoft is not a liberal sport. You know what I mean? And there's certain kinds of people who go to those places where it's going to be hard for us to get funding. And Kickstarter says themselves, they're not really, they were designed around art projects and music and public stuff. You know what I mean? So we got to help do this ourselves.
Yeah, because Kickstarter has in their terms that no replica firearms allowed.
Yeah.
So you can fundraise for a field, but you can't fundraise for a new type of gun or things like that.
Yeah, there's not a real place for us to make this happen. So we've got to work on this ourselves, guys. We got to push. You know what I mean? If you know somebody, share this video. Go to Fund Airsoft's page, get their video, share that video. We got to do everything we can, because the local feels, the getting kids a place to play. I mean, airsoft can only expand on the backs of YouTubers for so long, and let's be honest, that's what we're doing. Airsoft has expanded because people like CrazyNCMan and Scout the Doggy and Jet and this one and that one and everybody else makes videos, and people say, oh, that's cool, and then they get the gun and they don't know what's going on. They go out in the yard and they get shot by a cop. So we can only expand on those guys' backs so long. We need to stand up on our own and support the local fields and create a local ecosystem for airsoft. That's what we've got to do.
Right. It's all about the younger players too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've said it before. When it came to going to bigger games, I've always been the one. I don't mind running with the group of 10, 12-year-olds that are just starting. People are like, oh my God, look at this squad of 12-year-olds. They're going to be a wreck. And I'm like, I'll run with them and show them how this game works. And that's what really the grand scheme is. We got to show everybody not only what we're made of as a community, but support these younger kids because they're, they really are. My kid included. I've seen him out in the yard with his, and I have to yell at him, "Get back in here! You're not to be out in the
Yeah.
front yard with it.
Yeah.
If you want to go take your Nerf guns outside." So that's what it's really about. It's about community, teaching people safety, giving kids a safe place to play, and just breaking up the cliques, because airsoft is really cliques.
Yeah, it is.
That's all we are. You've got the milsim clique, you've got the backyard clique, you got the, there's all sorts of little cliques, and it's kind of got to stop. It needs to come together as one and not be so, so separated. And I think we're segregated by our loadouts even.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got the cross draw vest that costs $23. No, you're not running with me. It's like, my $500 real steel vest, and it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Right. It is, and not to get off on a tangent, but we just lost Citadel Airsoft in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
They closed their doors. And I know they've had a lot of problems from the get-go. They're in a state that really has a lot of gun issues, and I always commended them for staying open, but they closed their doors. And it's, there's, we lost our fields here in Western North Carolina. We lost our store. We lost both our stores. We lost the Airsoft Atlanta store. So we're actually going kind of backwards right now. And I wish I could publish the comments, the conversation on Facebook that was being had between some of the very big people in the airsoft world, because then people would wake up and go, oh, but wait a minute, they're talking about it? We've got a problem. And people, I can't get those guys to come on a public show like this and say it, and I'm not going to throw their name out and just put them under the bus and put them on the spot by telling you who it is. But there are very big people, and not talking in the United States, I'm talking in the global community. We're talking Taiwan, China, that are going, we have a problem in airsoft, and it's got to be fixed. So I'll give it a shot. I'll take a swing at fixing it. I don't mind.
Right, and that's what we've got to do.
Yeah, but it takes everybody though. Not just me. I don't have the power anymore.
Yeah, we all have to take personal responsibility for the sport if we really love it.
Right, because it's just look what happened. A great thing is the Senate Bill 199. The first year we fought like hell and we beat it, and then it came back. We fought like hell, we beat it, and then nobody did anything this year. You didn't hardly hear about it, and it passed. Now, granted, it's some fluff bill. It's going to have some tape. It's not as bad as what they started out. But the point is, we lost because nobody talked about it.
Yeah.
I think there were two. I think Spartan 117 did a video way back, like 8 months ago, and I think Spartan Leah might have done a video 8 months ago, and that was it.
Yeah.
But if you remember last year, everybody and their brother was jumping up and down making videos. So the community is just fragmenting away.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother show.
Me, I can ramble on for the next 3 hours. Don't even get me started. I'm just getting going.
No, I hear you. Trust me. You were talking about some of the stuff that at my level, at the down here, I've talked to local guys, and then I get the opportunity to talk to vendors, and I get the opportunity to talk to promoters, and it's in everybody's mouth that as a sport, there's so many things that are based upon how this whole, it's like a puzzle or a mesh lattice, or an upside down house of cards. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we've got to bolster it up because another bill, it was a little toned down from how it was before, but I hate to sound like a NRA nut, but you pass one, and then it'll be easier to slip in the next one, and that's how it works. So we've got to. We got to be more proactive about this stuff, and we've got to be more aggressive. And this is off the topic, but I've said for a long time we needed an airsoft lobby, and then they came up with one
Right.
And they were like, "Oh yeah, it's all the vendors are backing it," and all I was like, "That's what we need. We need the vendors and the retailers to be involved," But then like the second time the bill came up, you didn't hear anything from that camp, and it was quiet. And I was just like, "What happened?"
Yeah.
Where were these guys? Who were they're going dressed in suits and ties to meetings and trying to make things happen. They were the public face of airsoft.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, you know what happened is they can't get along.
yeah, yeah,
They're arguing amongst themselves.
yeah,
You can't get uh, Airsoft GI and E-Bike to shake hands and play nice together. They can do it. They did it for 1 year when that Airsoft lobby came out, but they can't get along, and the distributors, and it's just a mess.
yeah.
It's an absolute mess, and unfortunately, I said this to you earlier. I never understood why I have to be the one to say it, because I'm the one that takes the beating. I open my mouth about something I know, and then I take a beating for it because people say, "Well, you don't know what you're talking about." So, but the other thing you alluded to is you keep talking about everybody at different levels of media, and it's really not. That's another segregation, because your Jet is not better than you. He's not better than me. I'm not better than Jet. I'm not better than Level Cap. Level Cap is not better than me. They may have more followers and subscribers and views, but they're not at a different level than the rest of us. We're all doing the same thing. I've tried to contact Level Cap, so I'm blue in the face, but the guy doesn't care. He just wants numbers. And I didn't really even want to get him involved because he's kind of an outsider in the airsoft community, but there's not different levels. Your media, you work hard for your 1,000 views or 1,000 podcast downloads. So I think you're above myself and Jet and these other people that have these crazy followings. So that's got to be put aside. And hopefully, if Jet watches this, for God's sakes, please make a video for me, because he's another key player. He could make the difference. Just like Scout. Scout is the biggest airsoft channel in the world, and he could make the difference in this just by one little, video. Just one video, which hopefully he'll make soon.
Oh.
And if he's watching, get the video, make the difference. Because Fund Airsoft is not United States either. We'll do this anywhere in the world. I will donate anywhere in the world to get a field built somewhere. Matter of fact, if you go on the Fund Airsoft Facebook, you'll see we have a lot of overseas Facebook pages we like, and they got some crazy cool stuff. They're even more underground than us, and they're able to do these wild things, but they need fields too.
Right.
They need stores. I get the people in Brazil begging for stuff. They're like, it's so expensive here. There's not enough of it. We're paying through the nose because there's just none here. And they're like, please send me stuff, send me guns, send me BBs. So this is a global event right now.
All right, guys. Well, we're not gonna beat CrazyNCMan in the head too much. Tell us what's next. What's next for you? What's next for Fund Airsoft? What can the community do? What do you need from us right now?
I just need people talking about it. I need people making videos. I need people Facebook. I need people talking at the fields. Just any way just to talk about it and to tell the person that goes, well, why am I going to donate to a field in Texas when I live in Massachusetts? And it just explain to them it's not about you. It's just about pitching in. So we can all sit back, and then you can say, yeah, I was part of that. That was awesome. Just like the ice bucket challenge. Look at how crazy that was. And it was for a good charity, but people don't really realize where that money actually went. More of it went to the CEOs of these charities. But I just need people talking about it. Whether you have 100 subscribers or 100,000, make a video, make a Facebook, make a tweet, whatever social media you're using, It's got to be out there nonstop. That's all I need. And for the people who don't want to donate, spread the word. It's that simple. Just talk about it. Start a dialogue, you know.
All right.
And of course, I've asked people too. I said, don't label it as a CrazyNCMan project. I don't want that. It's not about me. It's not about getting me more views. It's not about anything. It's about the Fund Airsoft and the fields that need our help. So just promote it as that and discuss it, and you know, we'll see where that goes. And like I said, this is kind of hopefully my legacy, because I'm not out of ideas, but I've just done this for long enough. I don't want to start anymore, because you know, over the years I've had the skirmish report. I had Fund Airsoft, which, you know, kind of worked. I just had all kinds of ideas that some of them worked, some of them didn't. But I want this to be the one that works to make a difference.
Right. All right. Well, you know, you've got our support. We're going to keep talking about it. I'm going to keep checking it. We're going to go to it every time we do a show and mention it every show, because I think it's really, really important. This is the beginning. It's a taste of what Airsoft needs, and I think something like this is going to put the idea in people's head that Airsoft community, Airsoft organization can be centralized in a way where we can say, okay, we can go to this one site and see everybody who needs help, and we can do what we can, even if it's $1 here, 5 there, 20 there, whatever, you know. I think it's the dialogue that we need to have, and so we're going to continue to back it, continue to talk about it, and you know, my hope is that we can make a big difference. And I think every time you go to the site, there needs to be a little sense of urgency, because, you know, you go there and you're like, oh, Plains Airsoft needs our help, you know. Well, $5 at McDonald's or $5 at Plains Airsoft. You know, my whole team can give $5 or $10 each. You know, no big deal. We all get patches. We get this. We get that. Whatever. You know. If that's what you're into it about. But if you just want to support Airsoft, then you can. That's what you really should be thinking about. But that's there too. So
yeah, because the numbers are there. Because if you look at it, like today, and I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, good.
Today there's probably 1,000 players that fill the gap. If we pass the hat and those 1,000 players ponied up $5, that's Plains Airsoft built right there, done. And it's just numbers. We got to look at it as numbers. We have very huge numbers in Airsoft, bigger than people realize. So they're all going to pitch in, and then it can snowball. You know, look at all the companies like Mission Spec that started out making a sling. Now they're making tack gear. You know, we can fund and help stuff like that along too, with not only money but just people's knowledge. You know. So it can grow outside of fields, because I had originally had stores on there too, but then I thought, I don't know, funding a store is a little different than funding a field, so I decided to take that off. But who knows? Maybe we can expand into that market, just to fund more projects.
Okay.
And start more business. We can put people to work, basically.
Right.
We can stimulate the economy while we're doing this for ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. You know, people don't realize that, but you know, every field, that's jobs. You know, and it spreads out. It's the field. It's places that might serve the field. People who clean. People who deliver food. Restaurants nearby the field. You know,
tax revenue.
Yeah, tax revenue. There's all kinds of things. So it's a win-win for everybody. Win-win for Airsoft.
Well, we just got to do it.
Yeah.
You know. One last thing I want to touch on.
Sure.
Is a lot of fields ask for volunteer labor. And I just talked to Jai, everybody knows from his Epic channel. He said they have a 270,000 square foot building, and they asked for labor volunteers and got nothing.
Jeez.
So the community showed up with nothing. They have the materials. And think about it, they have 270,000 square foot building, and they asked for volunteers for labor, and they got nothing. And that's sad. That tells you something's wrong, because if I lived there, I would be there every weekend volunteering to build a 200. That's huge. That's a massive indoor airsoft arena.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But they got no help.
That's an
So
unheard of size.
unheard of. Be the
Yeah.
most epic thing. But that just goes to show you that the volunteering and donating has got to come together in this community and your local community. Go help your local soup kitchen or something if you don't volunteer.
Right. And I know there's a lot of teams out there who do that. I think a bunch of guys in upstate. The one of the older hosts of the show, their whole team, and I advise every team to do this. Their whole team they volunteer. They all volunteer, and I think that's really good. That's really noble, and it puts a positive light for the community on airsoft and airsofters. Instead of just the maniacs running around with guns. So yeah, I think everybody should do that.
You do have good, like I know the Mako field up in Mako TV and those guys. I know they had their whole team and all their friends. They really pitched together to clean that field up. But it's just few and far between of people volunteering anymore to either build a field or to volunteer outside of airsoft. So I just want to see it come together. I want to see the new global face of airsoft, and to coin our phrase on Fund Airsoft, support the sport, and let's get it done.
Right.
And the copycatters are already coming, by the way. We've seen copycat Fund Airsofts already, which is cool. It's flattering. We know we're doing something right when somebody else starts the same thing.
Well, hey, if it helps if it helps the cause, if more people donate to Plains Airsoft, then so be it. You know what I mean? All right. Well, Frank, thank you very much for coming on. I really, really appreciate it. I can check you off my list now. I just need to scout the doggy, and I am good. And I have completed my list of all the people I wanted to interview. We can shut This Week in Airsoft down. So I really appreciate it.
If Scout makes a video for me, maybe we can get him to come over here. We'll warm him up to being in front of the camera one of these days.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. All right. So thank you very much, sir, and everybody. Fundairsoft.com. Frank, is there any other websites or anything you want to leave people with?
No, that's the one I want to concentrate on. Everybody knows my channel, and everybody knows I'm not into promoting. Actually, my second channel is my gardening channel, my Project America TV. That would be one I'll plug.
Okay.
Because that's different. I'm trying to promote healthy living, organic food, and made in the USA goods to stimulate our economy. So ProjectAmericaTV.com if you want to check it out if you're interested in good food and healthy living. But other than that, no, I want this Fund Airsoft to be the one that really takes off and makes a difference.
Okay, terrific. All right, guys, so fundairsoft.com. Let's all go and do our part. We need to put the maximum amount of effort in. We need to make a difference here. We got to support our sport locally, statewide, nationally, worldwide. So let's do everything we can, guys. I'm James with This Week in Airsoft, and for Frank and all the rest of the guys with This Week in Airsoft, I really appreciate it. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.
All right, thanks.